Okay, good morning, good afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, Sorry, maybe I was talking and it wasn't coming through. I realized that my microphone was on mute. That's why it was not coming through. Okay, so let's start with the dollar index as usual. And I think most of you are seeing a huge movement happening on the market, and some people might attribute it to whatever Donald Trump said, but that is not the case. The volatility is good, but it has nothing to do with what Donald Trump said, because price was meant to do that anyway. Okay, I think if you're here, you know that I've been expecting them to continue going lower, right? So whatever is happening right now has nothing to do with whatever he said, because that's what we were anticipating anyway. So whatever he said helped it to go there quicker, right? It helped it to go there quicker. Okay. So sometimes volatility is good when you are operating from the higher time frame perspective. Okay? You need that so that you can actually get your TPs faster. So as it stands, like I said, to me personally, they will go lower. They will go for this low and that low. Right? Remember the up candle on the 3 months? Okay, that's where the narrative is coming from. And this low to that high, that is the range. This was just a 50% reaction. And I don't see this down candle as an auto block that will hold price. I don't see that. Hence, on the monthly time frame, after we closed, I gave you that narrative. We can go from here to up, but based on how the weekly closed here, it's likely not. So maybe we are gonna get a reaction off from this candle's high. Right, we might get a reaction from this candle's high to close in this gap, but similar to what happened here, we might get once this candle closes, because tomorrow is Friday, that's another event. Once we get here, because the week is still not closed, we can bounce and retrace. If we retrace, because of this volume imbalance, still price is gonna be weak because of this volume imbalance. So even if we bounce off from this level and then we start coming back up, that volume imbalance is gonna hold price and then send price back down again. So the month of April, as I showed you on the seasonal tendency chart, we will expect lower prices, and they might use that to take out this low. So expect a continuation to the downside. Anything going back up will still be a pullback, and then we continue going down. Now, the question might be, does this look like a buy pattern? No, this is not a buy pattern. I don't see that as a buy pattern. Hence, price is going to continue going lower unless they place in a buy pattern somewhere in here, and then we might get a movement to the upside, but I don't see that happening. What can happen here is a pullback back to this volume imbalance or this candle's low, and then a quick sudden move back down again. So if you hear Donald Trump saying anything and you see price going up, look at this volume imbalance and then you want to sell short. dollar, or go to the foreign currencies and then buy long to continue going up. Okay, so that is that for the dollar index. Let's go to euro. So euro, we had a big rally away from. Now, if you're here yesterday, I spoke about euro creating a fair value gap, and once we create a fair value gap, you can use that for entry to continue going up, to go to attack this high, right? Whatever he said, brought price to that gap, and then we rejected from it, and then the price went up. So that's why we do these live sessions, for you to see what can happen. And now they've broken above that, and again, I said it, this does not look like how price goes down. So this is just a pullback. It will go back up again, and boy did it go up. I think I've not seen such a big candle in a very, very long time. Like 2% movement in a day. I've not seen that in a very long time. So this one is a very unique price action, but it's expected in terms of price going up. It's very quick. So we say thank you, Donald Trump. British pound, same thing. I think we got our TP for the week. Our target was up here. I'm sorry, the high, and it delivered yesterday nicely. Even though I think during the live session yesterday, I gave a level. I gave a level for them to come down to. I think it was somewhere here. For them to come down to, and price couldn't do that. Now, what it did is what I taught you yesterday, right? The New York session fair value gap. Always pay attention to that, because during Asia or London, sometimes that's where they'll form their low or high of the day. So that's what happened right here. Price pulls back to that gap, and then price shot off. All right. So as it stands, let me see what price is going to do. They've just dipped into this gap here. Let me go to the weekly. Okay, so they've just dipped into that gap. I think they might break this high, but it's gonna struggle a little bit. Okay, it's gonna struggle a little bit before going up here. So just be mindful. Don't continue looking for longs for now. If you will, wait for the H4 to form a down candle, and then you look for the buy. Until then, where we are now, I don't recommend it. It's not safe for you to buy. What is safe to buy, I think, is the New Zealand dollar, because it's very, very low relative to the other ones, and I kept saying it, right? This was where they're gonna come to. It did something that I didn't expect, which is after yesterday closed, right, the next candle come all the way down to attack previous day's low, which is not what I expected. But on the H4, all that it did was drop down into a fair value gap, and then screamed for that. Yesterday they did reach for that candle's low exactly, and then pulled back and went for that. going forward, treat this as a run on stop, and we will continue going up. And from our last or previous sessions that we did, I spoke about the the grading price swing. And I said, when you measure the range below 50%, here to here, that is where run on stops is likely going to happen. So this was a run on stop, and then that was a run on stop, and then they'll continue going up. Now when they have a run on stops, that gives you a dealing range. This run here makes this low high probability of being sustained. Now they've done another one here. This low high probability is going to be sustained. So if we get any pullback again, it will act similar to this. If they don't leave, which I don't think that will be the case because it's breaking the high. Now let me use this to show you a little bit about how you can know if a stop is going to be taken out or it's not going to be taken out. If I zoom in, the question would be, why was this low taken out? Why was this low? Why this low? Why not this? The answer is, if you look at this low, it's connected to that high. From this high, we came here, then we went up. It means that this low here is not responsible, or is not the origin of the move going above this high. This low is not the origin of the move going above this high. The origin of the move is this one. So in simple terminology, when we have something like this, and then we form a low, and this low here does not take out this high, and then it creates a low, and then it goes higher. This low is subject to run, and then it go up. Might not have drawn it properly, but just visualize it. Essentially, every low must break a high. When they form the low here, this high to this low, okay, that low is not responsible, or is not the origin of the move. This is the origin of the move. So this to that. And then also this move down must go below 50% to OTE, or the first area of accumulation. I think yesterday I did give you that knowledge. The first area of accumulation. If the low does not get to the first area of accumulation, again, that low is subject to be liquidity. So that is where this one also comes in. If you look at this high to this low, this could not get to even 50%, right? Hence, that becomes subject to liquidity for it to be run, and then price will continue going up. So you can use these two ideas to know when a low is going to be taken or a high is going to be taken. You can mark them on your chart, and then see when price is coming for maybe a retracement, they can likely go for that low. The only problem with this was the auto block. I was aiming for that auto block to hold, and then we continue going up. Now there's a theory about auto blocks. That is why again I was using this. Whenever you have a down candle with a fair value gap in front of it, that is a high probability auto block. So that is the reason why I was using this for the continuation. Okay, so in case you might be wondering, so if you knew that, why were you looking for the buy? It's just based on logic here, that if you have a down candle and you have a fair value gap in front of that, that's an auto block. Don't ignore it, respect it. So that was the logic behind initially why I was looking for the buy on this down candle. Okay, let me get rid of some of these drawing. But essentially, if you look at it, you see what I'm talking about. This low here, okay, this high to this low, it did not break this high. This is the origin of the move. So ignore this and then see that, which makes this low subject to run. Same thing here, this high, this low, which was the origin, this one. So this becomes subject, and then you can translate to any other chart, and you know when price is likely going. And this is a high time frame, but it applies to the lower time frame as well. You can go to the lower time frame and find something similar. So all that to say, that pay attention to this pair, because it's gonna reach for 50% and there's room to the upside. Hence, you can actually get more buys going forward on this pair. Pound and euro, they are going to be held a little bit because they are extremely high. Now, it actually means that going forward, if there is any high impact news coming on the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, they are going to take those pairs up because they need to catch up with what the British pound and the euro has done. Okay, so Aussie needs to go all the way up here. Okay, and then it will go beyond that. Same thing here, right? This low, taking. This one is staying because they took out a low over here. This one is also gonna stay once we break this high. If you don't break this high, this low is gonna be taken. So this needs to go all the way up and break it, and then this low will stay. Okay. The New Zealand CAD is also likely going to go all the way up here. Yesterday it did not close bullish, hence it came back down again. It actually rejected previous day's high, so it's not a myth, or it's not okay. So I think I had a bit of a break on my network for some reason. Let me close some of my applications so that I'll have some network passed onto this app. For some reason, I don't know why it does. Okay, so we are back. I apologize. This network, I know. So what I was saying was we've had Australian card come and take out all these lows. So what we need now going forward is a close above previous day's high. I like it, and I gave you the reason why, right? The reason is we've taken out a previous 3 months low. So this quarter, we need to go and take out a 3 months high. Okay, we took out a 3 months low here. So we need to go and take out a 3 months high. And they've come all the way down in the form of a pullback. Okay, they've come back down in the form of a pullback. 79 retracement level. And they've cleared all these lows. So I think going forward, this is also going to go up. We just need a close above previous day's high, and then we are good to go. Yesterday, I was looking for that, and that didn't happen. Now, today is much better because of the fact that now all lows have been cleaned or cleared. So there's no need for price to come back down again. If it's coming back down again, then it's going to come for this low. Okay, if it starts coming back down again, it's going to come for this low. There's no need for that. Hence, a close above previous day's high, we get long, and then you're looking for a run to the high. All right. I think for now that will be it on the cross Australia, New Zealand. Okay. So this, I'm seeing something similar to what I saw on AI16, which is the buy pattern, right? If we go to the lower time frame, actually it's on the H4. So this is the consolidation, and then it broke down, and then they redistributed, and then it went down, and then in here they redistributed again, and below that it's a gap on the daily, but we can trim it down, or we can I always forget this word.